is the most feared and powerful warrior. A ninja who breaks from ancient tradition and explodes onto America. His soul possesses the body of an innocent woman and transforms her into a lethal assassin.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Hey there!
Yes.
Did you need more?
No, that was more than sufficient. This week, we're discussing the horror martial arts classic, Ninja 3: The Domination, starring Lucinda Dickey and Sho Kosugi. You know them, don't you?
Oh, my homies.
Each week on the podcast That Wouldn't Die, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genre with a comedic twist, we hope.
Is this a forgotten treasure or what did you say, a moldy classic? Which one is this?
A little from column A, a little from column B, I would definitely say. Sweet Lord. So how are you doing, Aaron?
Oh, well, you know. I'm finally, after 7 weeks, getting back used to working again.
You'll be well into shape by summer, right?
By the time summer comes, I'll have it down pat, just in time for me to then forget all my passwords, so I can start from scratch the next year.
Beauty.
As I do.
As one does. Now,
I have a question for you. This spooky season bullshit, that's some evangelical shit, right? Not calling Halloween, calling it spooky season.
I'm not familiar with this. Is this a thing?
It's a thing. Everything, if you notice, like on the Today Show or everywhere, all over social media, it's almost spooky season time.
So you think... they don't want to tarnish All Saints Day, is what you're saying.
Well, they're saying it's a devil thing.
It's a devil thing. No question. I agree. That's why I like it. I'm not from it. It's entirely possible that this whole spooky season. Hey, let's put the hall back in Halloween. I don't know what the hell that means, but I will call it Halloween. So there you go.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know the origin. I just tried to do a quick Google search, and of course that didn't work out. Mostly the top hits were, stop fucking calling it spooky season. It's Halloween. For sure, because Halloween is like, devil's night.
It's devilish.
It's shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
So now it's spooky season. Don't go trick-or-treating. Go over to the church parking lot and freaks from church will just give your kids candy. Why don't you just go to a 7-Eleven and buy them a bag of candy and put them to bed early? Just say, f*** it. Why
you're firing on all cylinders right now.
I am firing all cylinders because, and this is cranky old Gen X coming, back in the day, you didn't bring your mommy unless you were little. And even if you were little, your parents waited on the street, so you had to walk up by yourself and ring that bell. And back in the old days, pumpkin, no pumpkin, we're ringing the damn bell.
Lights or no lights?
Lights or no lights. You just keep knocking until the lights come on. I think I have this rant every year. A lot of people, like when I was a kid, well, not a lot of people, but older people lived in our neighborhood, so they didn't decorate. But they still open the door with candy.
You don't
it's about proving
until
yourself.
You knock. It's a rite of passage, is what you're saying.
Sometimes you get those Jehovah's Witnesses tracts about how Halloween is the devil's night with some raisins and a few pennies.
I'll take it.
If I have to read your weird miniature comic book about how I'm going to hell, at least put like an Almond Joy or I don't know, a Clark bar in there. Oh, Clark bar. Nobody eats that.
Good Lord. We're going deep.
I think I was watching Seinfeld. They mentioned Clark bar, so that was stuck in my head. But how about an Abba Zaba?
How about a Zagnut?
Why not? The best story is our sister who got the elderly neighbor's partial in her bag of tricks, and mom made Megan return it to the lady. This may be what tipped Megan over the edge.
Are you talking about her dentures were tossed
Yes.
into Megan's treat bag? Interesting. And she had to wait.
Yes.
Megan wanted to keep them. She's saying, "Mom, let me keep this."
Megan
that
did
what
not
you're
want to
suggesting?
keep them, and she did not want to go to the neighbors holding old gummy teeth and knock on her door and say, "Oh, I think you accidentally did that." Mom used to pull that shit all the time.
Well,
Hey,
wait a minute.
Aaron,
Okay.
the
She,
neighbors just moved in and they have a girl. Go see if the little DePatty girl wants to play. And I'm like, I hear you have a girl here. Can I play?
I'm still grappling with the imagery of the elderly person leaning over your treat bag and just vomiting their dentures
I
into
don't
your
know
bowl.
if it's a Sam Raimi situation
This
or
sounds like some Dragon Hell shit.
if she stored her candy in the bowl of Raisinets. I don't know. You'll have to ask
Interesting.
Mom.
I will not be asking Mom about this. Sweet Jesus. Okay, moving on. Give us your 30-second synopsis of Ninja 3 The Domination. Sweet Lord.
The domination, the annihilation, the procrastination, all of the above. Basically, there are ninjas in Phoenix, Arizona, for some unknown reason. And I think it's the heat, it angers the blood. So, what can you do? So, again, ninjas in Phoenix, and bad cops want to execute them, except for the one who looked like he was in Barbarella, Ugo, whatever his name is, that Italian actor who just had the chest hair. It looked like he was wearing a Sherpa's jacket. There was just so much hair.
That was it?
But so she gets possessed. Okay, the Wichita line woman who works for Southwest Bell gets possessed by a ninja. Why? How? We don't know. Goes about her business, climbing up the poles. But every now and then, she sees a cop, a corrupt cop. So maybe this is a Me Too thing. I don't know. Maybe this is Black Lives Matter. Ninja Lives Matter. I don't know.
Ninja Lives Matter.
With this. Ninja Lives Matter. And whatever she sees one of the corrupt cops, the ninja takes over. Well, then at the very end, of course, Ugo, her boyfriend, is of course one of the bad cops. But somehow they wave that over. Sanity and women ninjas save the day. Phoenix can now be a safe place to live in, I guess. The best part is it just opens up ninjas fighting cops on like a shitty golf course on the outskirts of Phoenix.
For 30 minutes. For 30 minutes.
30 effing minutes. I will tell you, I did fall asleep. Where like a hard sleep where I snored so loud I woke myself up and I actually had a crick in my neck. That's how compelling this is. So if you like really shitty kung fu, like slow motion, like watching 80-year-old men try to block this out themselves, this is the film for you. There's my 90-minute review.
Okay, you are a crack user and madness from above.
One step beyond.
Now, you had never even heard of this movie, is that correct?
Who has ever heard of this? Was this made by some of your homies?
It was
Back at Old Palm Springs High School?
It seems like it. I remember seeing the box for this movie at the video store.
Of course, because it went straight to video. There's no doubt in my mind.
This was theater, baby. This was theater. Absolutely. This was the theater.
I need a lie detector test because you're lying to my face because I can read you like an assassin.
Like a ninja.
Like a ninja.
I remember seeing the poster of the disgruntled Wichita line
ninja
woman.
Oh yeah.
/ aerobics instructor, which you just yada yada / ninja possessy.
No, I got notes on it. Basically, they tried to work flash dance into
Yes.
this,
Oh,
is what it was.
they were all over the place. But
Instead of a steel worker, she's the Wichita lineman, is still on the line.
This movie was made by the infamous Cannon Films during that period in the 80s. And Cannon is famous.
Nick Cannon?
If only it was Nick Cannon. They were famous for unloading, Chuck Norris is famous because of Cannon, essentially. Charles Bronson, years after his expiration date, had a huge career in the 80s, courtesy of the Cannon Films. They're the
Too
ones.
bad one of those people weren't on in this movie.
Not in this movie. The Cannon Films were the ones who probably 8 years after the Kung Fu craze of the 70s were like,
they're still trying to rock it.
They were trying to get it. So they went and made a movie, and I've talked about this before, called Enter the Ninja, which was, the title was ripped from Enter the Dragon. And
Yes.
they're like,
clearly,
I mean, come on. And they were the ones who brought the idea of ninjas. It wasn't just Kung Fu. It's like, no, they're ninjas. And in Enter the Ninja, got to talk about this. This guy's martial artist had written the script.
Ninja of Death was part 2. What other Bruce
Ninjas
Lee
of Fury. Yes.
Ninjas of Fury.
the game of ninjas.
The game of ninja. Absolutely. I'd buy that.
The martial artist who wrote that movie meant for himself to star in it. So they flew to the Philippines, set up production, were about to start filming it before they realized, oh, damn, he can't act. Our main actor cannot act. So they're like, are there any actors in the country of the Philippines this week? Ironically, Franco Nero was in town. Famed Italian actor.
I fucking love Franco Nero.
Franco Nero's dynamite.
Oh my God. He was hot to trot back in the day.
He just happened to be in the Philippines. I don't know if he was on vacation or if he was out there, publicizing some other movie he was in. And they're like, F it. Franco Nero, you're the star of this movie. Franco Nero, not a martial artist. Okay. The main character was supposed to be from Texas. Franco Nero, not from Texas. Big, thick Italian accent. Okay.
Maybe he was from West Italy.
Exactly. So they hired Franco Nero.
Spaghetti Westerns, friend. Spaghetti Westerns. The Italians love the Western.
So with his thick Italian accent, they finally just said, F it, we're just going to dub you Franco Nero. So now you can watch Enter the Ninja, which is a brilliant cacophony of madness. With
Why
Franco
didn't we
Nero,
watch that instead of this?
Because there's no supernatural aspects of Enter the Ninja.
Son of a.
So anyway,
right, I understand.
Speeding along, Ninja 3 is the third in the Ninja series, where there are 3 stories where there's a ninja in it, but there's no other connection between the movies at all. Okay? So we have to talk about that. This movie is so ridiculous because they were Canon again was famous for like, we've got a title, we've got a poster, give us money and we'll figure the rest out. That's basically
classic.
What they did.
That's an Ed Wood classic. Look at this great poster we got. We'll write a story around it.
That's exactly what it was. So let's just jump right into the highlights. We got to talk about what is arguably.
First of all,
go for it.
First of all,
please.
I have to say, so am I supposed to have watched 1 and 2 to make the beginning of this understandable?
No.
Why are there ninjas in Phoenix? And why are they killing? Why does it take 900 police officers to fight him? That's how it opens up.
It opens up.
What is happening?
Yes.
Why?
Okay. The ninja.
Are they against Japanese? Is this a COVID thing? Like they thought he was Chinese, like a Chinese ninja, and they're just racist cops?
No. See, and here's the thing: the cops are not bad in this movie. The reason why
they
the ninjas
bad at the beginning.
Well, because
They're just trying to assassinate this dude.
no.
Like they could have stopped
Were you
and
sleeping
gotten the guy
during this
off the
part?
roof.
You
All
you
I
are
remember is bang. It's just 20 cops trying to chase this dude on foot and shooting at him.
okay.
And then
So I gotta,
finally it's self-defense.
let me tell you exactly how it goes down. First of all, no preamble. The ninja,
No.
the nameless ninja, goes to a cave where his sacred ninja relics. Again, this is like the greater Scottsdale area. He has a ninja cave where he opens up like a chest or a hole in the ground or something, and light shines out at him, and it's filled with his ninja, accoutrement, if you will. Smash
He didn't
cut.
have any nunchucks though.
There were no nunchucks in this movie. That is absolutely true. Smash cut to there's some randos golfing.
Yes. Yes.
Broad daylight. Broad daylight. The ninja comes out of the bushes and promptly starts just murdering the golfers. No explanation. We have no idea. Maybe he couldn't get a tee time. I have no idea what the thought process is.
I figured that they had done something wrong. I wrote golf ninjas.
He murders the security guards. He murders the golfer and the golfer's wife, who is also a golfer, I'm imagining. Then, the bodyguards are assassinated. The security guards at the golf course are assassinated. Eventually, the cops are
Why
like,
are there bodyguards? Who are these jackasses that are clearly at a municipal golf course, but they have bodyguards? This is not like the Annenberg estate.
You're absolutely right. This is not Pebble Beach. Yes.
Pebble Beach.
Later in the movie, they go, yes, a ninja killed a famous scientist, or some throwaway line that is, there's no callback. These characters are not important. Just to establish
Ninjas hate science.
They hate science.
It's a Donald Trump. It's a Donald Trump ninja.
Look, they like to do their own research. Okay, don't try to push your scientific
I've
beliefs
talked to
upon
some people. I've talked to some people.
People are saying.
People are saying.
Cops eventually go like, damn, there's a full-scale massacre going on at the municipal golf course, and it's a calling all cars situation. So it's 20 more minutes of motorcycle cops pulling up in their cars. There's like a helicopter circling the golf course, and this ninja is just taking them out. Boom, one right after another. Stands on top of a police car while it's driving, going 40 miles an hour down the windy roads of the golf course. He just starts stabbing them through the roof of the car. Drives off into a sand trap. It's ridiculous. 20 minutes of this ninja killing the cops. Eventually, the cops surround the ninja, which is never a good strategy when you're shooting guns, to surround your target. And they shoot him. They keep shooting him because they think he's dead, and then he jumps up and stabs a few more cops. So they keep shooting him. Eventually, he's, I guess, kind of mortally wounded. And that's when, and he does this move.
Freeze.
Go ahead.
Freeze. And then later on, we learn only a ninja can kill a ninja, yet he was dead.
That is correct. Only a ninja can kill a ninja. No matter how many bullets you pump into my body, only a ninja can kill a ninja. He does this kind of Tasmanian
except
devil
for the
move.
fact he dies. Oh yeah, go for it.
He dies, and then and he throws like a smoke bomb down. They're like, "Damn, where'd the ninja go?" All the cops go in different directions, and then the ninja like crawls out of the the dirt.
That was the best thing of the whole movie. The fact that he can corkscrew into the earth is the best thing of the whole movie.
And he does it multiple times. Times.
They're like, we can't waste this shit.
So, at just that moment, Lucinda Dickey is climbing up. She's the telephone line person. Goes up to the top of the thing and starts plugging into like her phone for a second, and happens to see the ninja staggering by, and she's like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" And at that point, the ninja hands her, like, first she fights him off a little bit, but he kind of jumps on her, gives him the sword, and now she's got some ninja in her. So some ninja, she's possessed now with the ninja. So the cops are not bad cops. I mean, they may be bad cops just in general, But in this case, it's more of a revenge thing. The ninja's going after all the cops who shot his ass. I mean, again, 4 survived. 4 cops, 30, 40, 50 cops were murdered at the beginning of this
Phoenix
movie.
has no police. There are no policia in Phoenix.
That is correct. New Orleans in the movie Hard Target had more cops left than the greater Tempe area. Yes.
I never saw that.
Never saw what? Tempe?
Hard Target. Tempe. I've been to Tempe, Scottsdale.
Wait a minute.
Phoenix.
Say that again? You've never seen Hard Target?
No. What's
Are
that?
you being funny? We were on a podcast talking about Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sometimes I wonder if you've had strokes.
Oh. Dude, I have filled 2 books with the number of movies you've made me watch, and some of them are so impressive that I need to wipe the memory immediately afterwards.
This was 3 weeks ago, by the way. Were you hit on the head, or have you been possessed by a ninja? This is what we're talking about here.
The ninja may be flying right through the screen right now, kicking some ass, taking some names.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Whoop, whoop.
But that scene, the 30-minute massacre of the cops, I was watching it with Lucy. I told you this. And Lucy was enthralled. Jesus. She said, this is my new favorite movie. Because it is nonstop ninja action. And it is utterly ridiculous.
I'm calling CPS because she needs to be removed. This is how you're raising her. I'm calling 911.
First of all,
this is the greatest thing.
Oh, God. And I have to tell you, so there was a lot of scenes where the cops are driving to the golf course and they're using like police codes. And we were...
Oh, I was like, that ain't right.
We looked it up.
1020. We had 1020. I looked it up too. I'm like, that's not right.
At one point they said, we've got a 451 in progress. That's an arson. There was no arson going on. And a
1020 is what's your location. We got a what's your location in progress.
They could not be bothered to figure out.
I got an 8675309 in progress. Jenny.
We're talking 30 seconds worth of research to find out the proper police codes. No thanks. Not necessary. Not interested.
That's right.
That was good stuff.
People aren't concerned about the details. It's all big picture.
Oh, no question. At one point in that opening scene, I've got so many notes just about the opening scene. The scientist tries to escape by getting away by golf cart. Those things travel 5 miles an hour. Good luck. Let's just say it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, he was quite sprightly. I don't think that was going to work.
Well, the ninja jumps behind the golf cart and stops it with his bare hands, as if this is some Herculean task. It's a golf cart. Okay? He wasn't driving a Range Rover or something. Sweet Jesus. 50 cops killed. Oh, God. But there's a lot of scenes of that.
We have no idea why. It's just random. That's just it. Cops are killed. Scientists assassinated. We don't know why.
No explanation.
Random acts of violence.
There's no callback as to yes, he discovered the secret to cold fusion. Nothing. It's here's the ninja and he's killing these golfers and we don't know why. That's what you get.
Why are there ninjas in Phoenix? And why is there a giant ninja? Is it the Shaolin? Is it David Carradine's temple?
Yes.
When he was wandering through the West, snatched the pebble from my hand, grasshopper. This is where he ended up?
Yes.
Somewhere outside of Tempe?
They yada that. Not only does the ninja have a secret ninja cave where he keeps his ninja stuff, like he's Batman or something. There's also... Literally,
he wishes he had a Batman cave.
He wishes. Not only that, it's like you said, there is like an ancient Shaolin temple in the desert outside of Scottsdale, next to Arizona Sun Devil Stadium. Evidently, good work.
Whoop whoop.
We're there trading ninjas as we speak. Evidently, so good times.
Well, got to take over. Remember what we learned in Big Trouble in Little China? China's here. Maybe Japan is here.
Maybe Japan is here.
But for sure, Lo Pan was there. Woo!
He was there. There's this. So later in the movie, her boyfriend takes her to, because she's obviously possessed, to the local. I mean, he's supposed to be Japanese. The actor's Chinese American, but anyway, to kind of get rid of that possession, and it's like chaining her up. And at one point, he's just like, "Deuces, can't help you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unchain her because the spirit's getting angry with me. Sorry, take your business elsewhere."
He's not. He's like, deuces. Lopan was not the same Lopan. He's like, this dude's getting pissed, so I'm gonna just say goodnight. Adios.
I'll give you your money back, full refund.
Just get that crazy bitch out of here.
5 stars on Yelp. See you later. Yeah, that was.
It was good to see him though. I mean, he's the shining star.
Honey,
you got Flashdance.
Yes.
You got this very effeminate Ugo. And then you got Lopan. It seems the making of good times.
I've got so much to say. So,
Ugo Tanazi is the actor's name, by the way, from Barbarella that I keep referencing.
And not the actor from this movie. So that's neither here nor there.
No. But I'm pretending that's him because he's about as hairy.
She goes from her job as the line person. She's also like an aerobics instructor. So there's an extended 20-minute
scene. She is Flashdance, people. She is a direct rip-off of Flashdance, except she does her aerobics at some kind of prison rape studio.
See, you say Flashdance, I'm thinking Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie Perfect with John Travolta. It was that kind of. You got to check it out. Where there's the extended jazzercise scene, and then there's the cop who's trying to hit on her, takes her class, and literally goes into cardiac arrest. Like there's a scene where he's just laying on the ground in the middle of the thing. Is this the dance
Perfect
class
or in this film?
In this film.
Yeah, I saw that. What happens in Perfect?
Well, just that there's aerobics. And Jamie Lee Curtis is leading it, and there's John Travolta.
Just that there's aerobics. There used to be just aerobic channels for pervy men just to watch.
I'm sure if you go on YouTube,
well, women who wanted to get in shape. Oh, they're always bending over right into the camera. Yeah, this was a very erotic. And it reminds me of why I have so many friends when I used to go to the gym all the time who wouldn't go to the gym with me except to work out in the women's section because of situations just like that.
When I was in college, I took multiple step aerobic classes. I mean, even that's dated. I don't. People still do step aerobics. It was a thing in the 90s.
No, it's like Zumba. They changed the name and then just you do something similar.
Absolutely. So,
Zumba's still kicking around and it's exhausting. It's like trying to audition for a chorus line, although you've never danced in your life. And then you try to hide in the back and they flip it around. Then the back becomes the front row and you're like, ah!
Yeah, there's no escape. It's like all that jazz, basically. What is it? With Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse and 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. After the class, like, first of all, you see a bunch of the dudes like lifting weights who are totally perving on the aerobics class, which is going on in the middle of the weight room. People are like lifting weights as the person next to them is doing jazzercise. She leaves to discover like 5 weightlifters are like attempting to rape someone right outside the class.
Yes, as a matter of fact. Yes.
So she goes in there and says, "Hey guys, leave her alone." Then they go after her, and I swear to God, there are 40 people just watching.
Yeah,
including the cop.
Including
the cop who just sits there and watch. It's like, is this the accused? I mean, there are witnesses to your thing. What is happening? It's a horror story.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And then she becomes possessed and starts ninjaing them in her very special slow motion ninja action.
Right. You could tell she did not have a background.
She's not a white belt. She's like a cellophane belt where it's just translucent.
There's no background in martial arts in her repertoire, to say the least.
And frankly, I question the ninjas.
Okay, that's a bridge too far. There were people who actually had martial arts training. You know, the main character just wasn't
like
one
as
of them.
a child. Yeah, you mean as a child they took it, like our little nephew, or because it was some slow motion bullshit.
Well, and it was also very much like, roll the cameras. I don't know martial arts. Just wing it. Just swing your legs around, do something. Who cares? So
it was like, they won't notice.
They won't notice.
They won't notice. You're all sloppy. Let's not even worry about choreography. Just do it like you were a ninja.
Exactly.
Good enough.
That should have been
good enough. Good enough is good enough.
That should have been printed on the poster, frankly.
Now, the best part is after she fights all the 400-pound weightlifter rapists, the cop forces her in the car because he wants to date her and tells her that she's lucky that she's not going to jail.
He said you're under arrest. He put her in the car.
Oh,
after fending off the rapist, you're under arrest.
That's right, because men gotta do what men gotta do.
They're not responsible.
Can you? I was like, what the f? What? You're lucky you're not in jail right now for beating up those poor rapists.
Well, but it was all BS. He was using his authority as a police officer to make her go out with him.
The most ridiculous thing is previous to that, when he shows up to join her aerobics, and he's wearing like a crop top New York City ballet shirt. That doesn't seem very masculine.
He's a fine dancer.
Am I being a boomer with that, or I don't think it was.
Look,
so Pan was not so popular back
but
then.
In the 80s,
I think his interest may have been in the other direction.
In the 80s, you were expected to share your feelings, to embrace your feminine side, to wear leg warmers and tights.
Okay, first of all, he's still a cop. He's a cop in the 80s, which is like being a cop in the 70s or being a cop in the 60s or being a cop in 2022. He's wearing a crop top New York City ballet shirt.
He's allowed to like ballet. That's all I'm saying.
No. That is not people. The women of the 80s would have been all. Okay.
Earlier in the movie, he tries to hit on her by offering her a soda, and she says, "I don't use soft drinks. I don't use soft drinks." He didn't offer you a crack pipe.
See, this is why I think I like the idea that actually he is a bad cop. Because at the end, he should have forced his way, and then she would have.
Well, he is a bad cop, but that's not why he's being targeted.
He's a bad cop because he knows she's the ninja, and she just killed all his friends.
That is correct.
He's got to have a new partner now.
Pretty much.
This is like the Taco Bell movie we watched with Sylvester Stallone, or maybe that's RoboCop. It's like RoboCop, or now all of a sudden Demolition. It's RoboCop when all the cops are dead. But in this case, it's because of ninjas. It's because of ninjas, not drug lords.
It's because of ninjas. We have not talked about the.
That should be a shirt. That should be a fucking shirt, Kevin. It's because of ninjas.
Absolutely.
I want it on a coffee cup. I want it on a mug.
We have not talked about the love scene where she takes him home and she says, "I don't have any wine or beer because I'm healthy, but I do have V8. And she promptly straddles him, takes her can of V8 and pours it on her chest.
And lets it run down her top and then lays all the way backwards like she's a gymnast. And then it's on. Those 7 herbs and spices went right into his.
It was. I mean, I like V8, but this was revolting. Oh my God!
It did look like she was spitting up blood right over her boobs.
It was so bizarre. I mean, you have the.
It's so bizarre. It was another one of the good scenes.
Absolutely. Well, it was juxtaposing pouring V8 on your chest. Your barely covered chest, and then cut to, here is the police officer's full hairy back. Like, not just hairy chest. I mean, we talk about Sam Elliott and his hairy chest. We're talking about he's half gorilla. His back and his shoulders were so hairy. I mean, and I'm a hairy guy, but this guy, he was hairy.
I would say it's a poncho. Ugo was definitely a sweater because that went all the way to his fingertips. This guy was more of a poncho, hairy chest, because it also, the same thickness of hair on his chest and back was also on his upper arms.
He is basically the missing link, is what I'm trying to say. It's like...
I'm afraid that if it just whacks those arms and back, it would be enough blood loss that he may perish.
It was, I mean, look, we've talked about diversity in body types and features and things like that, and we support that.
Lord knows I like a hairy chest. I will not date someone who's waxing. This is classic. I am like, or trimming so it's shards. I mean, a hairy chest is soft. If you're trimming it, then it's like 1,000 little blades.
It's a porcupine.
It's a porcupine. Right. Nobody wants to snuggle with a porcupine except another porcupine.
Do you like a hairy back though?
I can do without a hairy back.
No one, trust me, if you go on Tinder and you say it luxuriated my hairy back, there's not going to be a whole lot of swiping right. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think there are fetish sites. There are fetish sites like women high heels stepping on cakes. And then I'm sure there's just a whole section where you don't even see the dude's face. You just see his back. Like he's half werewolf. Like those circus dudes like from Mexico where the hair, the thick, luxurious hair just crawls all the way up to the top of their heads.
Are you talking about like in a sideshow or something? I mean, what?
Yes.
Sweet
Haven't
Jesus.
you seen those dudes, the wolf guys? They're always from like some kind of Aztec-y part of Mexico or Central America.
Yeah, I'm not looking at those sites. I'm not visiting those videos.
Fans only.
Tanks, but no tanks.
Fans
Exactly.
only, just for back hair.
Fans only. Sweet Jesus. But I mean,
if there was a fans only site for just big toe knuckle hair, then I could put my big toe up there. I try to whack it off.
This
but
is
that's
way
my
too
claim.
much information. You have one hairy toe.
Big
like a
toe,
hobbit.
Knuckle hair. I have a big hobbit toe. Just sharing. When I get a wax, I usually try to get over there like, oh, you want me to? I'm like, whack it off. It's in there deep though, so.
Pluck it out.
If thine hair offends thee, pluck it out.
There is not enough nair in the world to tackle this dude's back. That's all, his buffalo hump, if you will.
That shit is anchored to the bone. They're gonna need surgery.
You better, that's deep spinal. Sweet Jesus. Moving on from this lovely topic of conversation, there's a scene which made me laugh when the cop takes his girlfriend to the first the doctor and then the psychiatrist. Psychiatrist goes like, you know what? Perfectly fit as a fiddle in every single way, except for her fixation on Japanese culture and her extrasensory perception.
Oh, except for
her
that.
extra.
What?
Her
That's it.
Sensory perception?
I'm talking to my doctor. I'm going to say, Dr. Madhu, why have you been billing my insurance for this annual physical and you've never once checked my ESP levels? I'm going to see if I can set your office on fire just by concentrating. I'm so angry now.
The doctor was so casual about her extrasensory perception, and the cop didn't flinch when he didn't say, what? Back up. Does she have telepathy? Telekinesis? Is she Drew Barrymore and Firestarter? What is happening?
I think this may be like a parallel universe, Phoenix.
Could be.
By the time I get to Phoenix, it'll be burning.
Sweet Jesus. There's
a second ninja that comes, and you notice he has like a crazy katana as an eye patch. So that made me wonder, Is he just looking out of the hole?
He was. He was, right. Right. Well, another ninja arrives without a whole lot of preamble either. He meets some like Buddhist monks at the airport, and they're just like, "Yeah,
We're gonna
there's
say
another
that they're
ninja."
Shaolin priests.
Well, I believe that's Chinese kung fu, but anywho, um, whatever the case may be, they're like, by the way, another ninja's on the loose. Flashback, and it's the ninja who killed your friends and poked out your eyeball.
I
Just a heads up.
assumed that they had brought him to deal with that. Not
I
the
think so.
case.
Well, who's to say? This movie does not give us a whole lot of
There's
information.
not a lot of explanations.
Not at all. Not at all. There's a later scene at the funeral of the first cop who was murdered. I don't know how there's any cops left, but they go to the funeral and Lucinda Dickey goes there and she's like, I'm going to take care of the last two that gunned me down. And there's another 25-minute massacre of the police officers.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
And I honestly don't think they used, because for example, in Enter the Ninja, whenever you didn't see Franco Nero's face, it was the original martial artist doing the martial arts skills because he had a ninja mask on. This movie, whenever you didn't see Lucinda Dickey's face, sorry, still Lucinda Dickey doing her crazy pseudo martial arts interpretive dance moves. I don't know what she was doing. It's got a new age modern thing.
Trust me, she didn't know. She didn't know what she was doing either.
It was a sad.
And she always put on extra dark eyeliner when she became the ninja.
Right. It was cultural appropriation.
I think
she was trying to give herself Asian eyes or something.
You've got Asian eyes. Yeah, I noticed that the ninja actually was giving himself some Egyptian shit. I thought it was very interesting. It's very multicultural.
Also cultural appropriation.
I think one of the best scenes is when Flashdance Ninja stabs Catan Ninja, or no, the original ninja, and he again drills his little hole in the sand to hide away.
Right, and there's a final battle between the friendly ninja and the now reconstituted corpse of the original ninja.
The black ninja, I think they called him.
Black ninja. And the cop pulls out his gun as if he's going to shoot at him, and Lucinda Dickey's like, no, honey, don't do it. And it almost seemed like she was saying, this is for them to figure out. And then 2 seconds later, she grabs a sword and stabs him.
Yeah.
So I guess we are getting involved after all.
That seems like bad fighting form.
It's not.
I think that's frowned upon in medieval times. It's kind of pussy to go in there while people are mano a mano and then kill the other one.
That's what they say.
But then again, she was a ninja. She stabbed the ninja, and then he didn't die this time. It only caused him to drill a hole, cause an earthquake. I mean, oh no, I got my story out of order now. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. It's like now there's an earthquake happening. So people ask, Kevin, why did you choose this movie? This is more of a martial arts movie than a horror movie. But there's possession.
Yes.
Right? There's bizarre, unmotivated earthquakes that occur.
There's Lopan.
It's supernatural. There's Lopan, right? And there's that scene where she breathes the poison gas on Lopan, right? That was kind of an exorcist moment.
It's true.
So there you go.
I have to go back to the earthquake drill hole. He drilled a hole in the earth, but then all of a sudden, randomly, the ninja is not falling into that hole. He is like 20 feet away, just on the edge of the cliff. I think we were supposed to think that he's being sucked down, but he was not, in fact. That was like the worst cut ever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There were scenes where the ninja goes down. Then there's scenes where the good ninja's hanging off a cliff with the bad ninja's hanging onto his foot or something.
How did the bad ninja get over there? Because I thought they were pulling him into his little ninja hole in the ground. And then all of a sudden it was like clearly a man standing below. And another guy just kind of dangling his feet off the edge.
Pretty much. Well, and the good ninja doesn't seem to have any special fancy powers. You don't see him drilling into the ground or something.
Yeah, why is he so good?
It's very upsetting. Very upsetting. Any other thoughts and feelings?
No, I got no other thoughts and feelings. I have no notes. Oh no, that will come later. Let me just see. I wrote down makes an earthquake and still in his fight until the ninja stabs him in the head. Oh yeah. So even though she kills him and she's a ninja, it still requires the other ninja. Okay, the cops kill him with just bullets. But now in this form, he's been stabbed with a thing. He's drilled himself into the ground through the heart, and now he finally had to take a knife into the top of his head, into the fontanelle.
Mind the fontanelle. Yeah, and that was ball game pretty much
until Ninja 4, Ninja 12 returns. The revenge. This time, Tucson takes it on.
We have to talk about this. Let's go behind the scenes.
Please
For some reason, the movers and shakers behind Canon Films thought Lucinda Dickey, who was previously a backup dancer in Grease 2 and very briefly a dancer on Solid Gold, was going to be like the next big thing. She was going to be like their big star. So they promptly signed her to a 5-picture deal.
Wow. Good for her. Milk it, baby.
Milk it, milk it. The first movie she was in was the breakdancing movie called Breakin'.
Oh, I at least heard of that. I, of course, didn't go see that damn movie, but that was a real movie.
That was a real movie. It was like, there were a few breakdancing movies. There was like Beat Street. Breakin' was their version, the Canon Films. And they actually had like 2 like serious professional breakdancers, and then Lucinda Dickey, who was like classically trained, no breakdancing skills to speak of. But I think that was part of her journey in that movie, is her starting to,
It all started with Solid Gold.
It all started with Solid Gold. So that same year, they were doing Ninja 3, The Domination, because again, she was going to be their big star. So we're going to put her in this front and center. She's like all on the posters and everything. And they filmed this movie, and not a hit.
She's not a strong actor.
Breakin' was a good-sized hit. So that same year, this is all 1984. That same year, they make and release Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, I heard of that too. That was real.
Which brought back the cast of Breakin', but of course, it had no life left. All the good juice was left in the original movie, and it was a big fiasco and a flop. About this time, again, this is still 1984.
Oh, God. They're going to make her do all 5 films in 1 year and then release her?
It was like the Spice Girls, where it's like they made an album. It was a big hit. They're like, we need to get another album out of here and a movie, because we know this ain't lasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. After they'd done those 3 movies within a span of like 6 months, they're like, this doesn't seem to be working. So they...
Could it be the script?
Could be. Originally, their plan was to have her star in those King Solomon Mine movies with Richard Chamberlain.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was King Solomon's Mine with Richard Chamberlain, and then a couple years later, a year and a half later, they released Alan Quatermain and the City of Gold, or Lost City of Gold, something like that. They wanted her to star in that initially, but I think they either came to their senses or she realized, I need to take some acting classes, something along those lines, where they tore up the contract. And instead of Lucinda Dickey, they hired another unknown actress named Sharon Stone. She was the love interest opposite Alan Quatermain.
I mean, Sharon Stone knows how to act, and she's very
no question. And this is before Total Recall. This is before Basic Instinct. So that was, and then Lucinda Dickey did not act in another movie for another 4 years, where she starred in, it was Cheerleader Camp. It was a horror movie called Cheerleader Camp, and that was the last movie she ever did.
She realized she was not supporting herself. Yeah. She's just not that good. I mean, Maybe she was a dancer, but she was just not that good.
Well, it's that it was such a bizarre situation. You see this in Hollywood from time to time, where it's like suddenly the studios decide, here's our next big thing, and you see the same actress in like 3 or 4 things within a couple years, and then suddenly not working as much. Like they
It
realize,
just seems
oh,
an odd choice.
right.
It just seemed like an odd choice. I mean, she had a good body. Her face was fine,
She was kind of cute, not anything else. I mean,
but if you can't act,
right. She was a
that
dancer,
yeah,
dancer's form. But I mean, she was by no means like, ooh la la, check this out. You know
no.
what I mean? And the
You
act,
can't
she's
carry a
not
whole
bad.
movie.
She's, her acting is not that, I mean, her martial arts are obviously horrendous, but her acting was fine.
No, it was
Wasn't
not.
like your watch, oh
Dude,
no.
no, no,
No?
no.
Oh.
It was rough. It was rough sledding. And I watch soap operas.
And you,
So, and I'm saying no.
no, thank you.
I mean,
She,
she's not even. Oh God, now I'm. Who do I always hate? Robin
Kevin
Hood.
Costner.
Yeah, she's not even good enough. I mean, Kevin Costner is far above her. Let's just say that.
Well, I mean, Kevin Costner is he's been in a million different things he directed. Yes.
People
Not
like him. He's a stiff.
the former backup dancer on Solid Gold is obviously not on that same level, but thanks for nothing. So with the failure of Ninja 3 The Domination, the lesson they took from it was that audiences did not want a female ninja. So after that, a few years later, they started the American Ninja series, which there
I'm
were
sure
5 American
audience
Ninja
didn't
films.
want a female ninja. Is that what it was? Or audience didn't want a shitty storyline with shitty martial arts.
It's entirely possible. Six
Oh
of
my
one, half
God.
dozen of the other.
I mean, I told you not to hire a woman. We spent $25 to make this film and it was a flop. It must be the woman.
Pretty much. That was the lesson they took from it. Sho Kasugi, who plays the friendly ninja, has starred in all 3 of these ninja movies and was oftentimes the primary fight coordinator.
I bet he was.
But
I
he
read
was.
something like one of the stunt coordinator played 37 different roles in this.
Oh, I don't doubt it. There's a lot of that stuff going on.
And then I'm gonna put on this hat and then pretend to fight this person. Then I'm gonna take the hat off and change my shirt. Now I'm gonna go over in this scene.
Pretty much. And it was his idea to have his character wear an eye patch. He thought it made him interesting and distinctive.
Except that if you're a ninja, it kind of throws off, one, your depth perception, and 2, you're blind on one side. So you're not seeing shit coming at you in that direction.
You do not. Exactly. It's called a blind spot. Yeah.
It's a blind spot for a reason. But is he really blind or is he peeking through the little hole that gets on?
There's a lot of Captain Ron vibe where he's like, listen
Oh,
to that.
Captain Ron. That was the best scene, Captain Ron. He's dead. What? He moves his eye patch over.
The director Sam Furstenberg came up with the idea of V8 juice in the love scene, which was
related to Diane von Furstenberg?
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact. Good Lord. Let's see. So
Robbie
like they
Knievel's son is a coordinator.
Or Robbie Knievel or Evil Knievel?
Robbie Knievel.
Oh.
The son of Evil Knievel is credited as doing some stunts.
In this movie?
In this movie.
Oh, was he the martial artist coordinator as well? Was he?
He was the Dominator acting coach, I think.
And the Dominator.
And who was dominated, by the way?
I think we're supposed to think she was dominated by the evil ninja spirit.
So that makes her the dominatrix, or no?
At no time does anybody say, hey, you're being dominated.
I shall
So-
dominate you with my ninja stick.
You never hear that or see that. This movie is a mishmash, like you said, of Flashdance, The Exorcist, and other horrendous ninja movies, basically. It's the good times.
I mean, I used to watch ninja movies back in the day. A good coordinated. I mean, now it's all CGI bullshit fighting.
Right.
But back in the day, a good coordinated fight could be mesmerizing. I mean, old Jackie Chan is fucking hypnotic. You can't believe it.
Are you setting a record for F-bombs on this episode, by the way? What the hell? Let's
late
mix
in
in
the
some
day.
other ones.
I'm delusional. All right. Don't get so Kevin.
It's gone from bad to worse. A shot of a spinning head had to be cut out in order to avoid an X rating from the MPAA.
An X rating. There's not even an areola, but it's going to be an X rating because a paper mache head spun around.
Yes.
Dear God.
Terrifying.
Dear God.
Lucinda Dickey actually took lessons on climbing the telephone poles that our character Christy does in the film to make it look authentic.
Well, I assume so. Too bad some of that time couldn't have been spent taking acting lessons.
I was just going to make that joke. I was talking...
Bob.
Well, what's funny is in the scene where she's the lineman, she's like got the spikes in her boots, and she's literally halfway up the tree before she takes the strap and wraps it around the tree to make sure she doesn't fall to her death. Maybe
I thought the same thing.
Lessons. Yeah, it was
absolutely.
Ridiculous.
I was like, is that how they did it back in the day? Because that seems a little dangerous.
It's not a good situation.
I've always been fascinated because those are the same things. Like mom and dad had like these palm trees that were 30 feet tall, and once a year these dudes would come, and they're like skinny palm trees and climb all the way up to trim them. And I was always fascinated.
Lucinda Dickey had only a week to learn some of the martial arts she had to perform in the film, which completely caught her off guard.
Well, that is surprising.
Shocking, considering the final product.
Yeah, boy. She must be like a savant.
Oh, no question. She's a natural talent.
A natural talent.
There's a scene.
It's not all your fault, sweetie. It's not all your fault.
It is not. If you're listening, big fan. Let me just tell you.
Big fan.
There's a scene where Billy, the police officer, was supposed to like chase the ninja and crash his sports car, and they wanted him to stay in the car as the car flipped. And he said, "I'm not going to do that because I'd wind up dead." So they did not. So
You're
they did not do that.
$50 a day plus craft services. No, smartest thing he ever did.
I love. This is the kind of movie where it is no stuntman, no stunt coordinator. Just, hey, why don't you crash your own car and stay in the car so we can get a good shot? What do you say to that, big guy?
We're going to pour gasoline all over you and light it on fire. But don't worry, because I just went to Walmart and got a fire extinguisher. So we'll have you out before you even know it.
Oh, sweet Jesus. So I think...
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of one of those knucklehead brothers from the Killer Clown movies. In the ice cream truck.
In Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I could see that. I could see that. The guys who have the ice cream truck.
Correcto.
Let's talk about the cast, shall we? Sweet Jesus.
Let's do it.
Let's see. We've got Sho Kazuki. I just totally messed up his name. Sho Kazuki. He played Yamada, the friendly ninja. I added that part. You know him from Ninja Assassin. He was the fight choreographer of the Scorpion King. He was in something called Pray for Death in 1985. And of course, he was Hasagawa in Enter the Ninja. So there you go.
Like where's he from? He's American, or did he come from
he's Japanese. He's from Japan. Japan.
So these are his. He moved here to work in Hollywood, and these are his credits.
And these are yes.
Not even Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No, not even. Lucinda Dickey. You know her from Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. She was in Grease 2 as the girl Greaser. And
Grease 2 is a classic. A lesser classic.
She doesn't have any lines.
Oh,
but if you're watching, We watched Grease 2 not long ago, and I always tell people, Grace saw Michelle Pfeiffer in Grease 2 and said, I got to have that haircut. So she had the Stephanie Zanoni for a little while there. So good times.
That is one of the worst movies, and people are obsessed with it. Our sisters were obsessed with it.
I went to college. I went to film school, drama school. And one of the girls turned to me and she's like, I think Grease 2 is the most perfect film ever made. And I said, Are you high? I literally was like, excuse me? It was like Otis Day where the record skips and the band stops playing. It was that kind of ridiculousness. Yes.
I told you I dumped a guy on one of the dating apps because he was arguing with me that Titanic was one of the most perfect movie ever made and his favorite movie. I said, that is a fucking lie. He's like, why would you say that? I'm like, you're out. Out!
You're out. You gotta go. You gotta go. Let's see. Jordan Bennett played Billy Secord, the kindly police officer who tricks her into having a relationship. You know him from Ninja 3 The Domination. He was he was Joe Marshall on Emergency with the exclamation point.
Oh,
if you remember
Lord,
that
that
one.
was a long time ago. Let me just tell you that.
That's what it is. You remember Emergency with Randolph Mantooth?
What a great name.
I
want
was
a
looking at
man tooth and a lady tooth.
Yes, there was paramedic John Gage and paramedic Roy DeSoto, stars of Emergency. He was also played Norman on The Waltons, and he was on Police Story.
Walton? I remember the Waltons. Who the hell's Norman?
I guess he was on.
There's John Boy, Jim Bob, and Norman.
You know old Norman, for God's sakes. I mean, I'll look it up if you must know.
I don't get it.
Oh, it's too
I
late
saw
now.
Mr. Walton at the Palm Springs airport back in the day.
6 episodes as Norman/Norm. He was also the angry terrorist on BJ and the Bear. There you go. He did a lot of TV. Good Lord.
In the 70s.
Anywho. And let me see. We've got the Black Ninja, although he's wearing gray when we see him.
He's wearing gray, and he is, in fact, not black.
Well, and again, dark colors when you're being a ninja in broad daylight, not the best plan. Let me just say that.
In the desert. It's a little
David Chung played the Black Ninja. You know him from Repo Man, Ninja 3, Cold Night of the Dawn. You know these, don't you? The Ballad of Little Joe.
I've heard of the Ballad of Little Joe, and I've heard of course, Repo Man. So he's apparently has the highest credits besides Lopan.
James Hong played Miyashima. We talked about him when we did Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
He was in that.
He's in Black Widow too. He's great. He's in everything.
He is dynamite. Dynamite. Shall we talk about the rating? This is since we're doing a 2-hour episode here.
2-hour tour. Lay it on me, Brother Bear.
Ninja 3 The Domination currently has 40% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think that's too harsh?
Interestingly, I wanted to go see that movie, like The Darling. That's a 30% rotten. So that means this is, 10% better? What was the audience rating? I'm sorry, I stepped over you.
What is The Darling, first of all? Are you talking about...
Shut Up, Wife. You know, the new fake Stepford Wives movie. I assume that's one. The one
Don't Worry, Darling? Is that what you're talking about?
Don't Worry, Darling.
So, top critics. There are actually 3 top critics, but I don't recognize any of them. Paul Atanasio from the Washington Post says Ninja 3 quickly falls off track.
And by the Washington Post, I think they mean like the Washington State Post, not like Washington, D.C.
Anton Patel.
What did the Penny Saver say?
Yeah, exactly. Little White Lies said somehow combines a now unstoppable and unstealthy ninja killing machine with an exorcism motif lifted straight from horror and gratuitous aerobic sequences showing off the talents of Lucinda Dickey, flush from recent success in Breakin'. That was a positive review. Sweet Jesus.
And by positive, he gave it a 50% rating.
What is your rating for Ninja 3 The Domination?
My rating for Ninja 3, the Abomination, is I am going to give it 1 out of 5 corkscrew ninja in your ass.
I think you're being a little harsh. I'm going to give it
I'm never watching this again.
2.5 out of 5 crazed, muscle-bound rapists at the aerobics class. That's what I'm going to do.
It is bizarre. I mean, I will clearly never watch this movie again, but for sure it's bizarre and campy enough with such sloppy fight sequences that once again, when you and your frat buddies get back after a hard night drinking, you might want to throw this on the VCR, which is retro now.
Right?
Now people are buying those.
Crazy people.
And right before you pass out in your own sick, this could be something to help
In your own V8.
In your own V8. This will be the last thing you remember before you wake up with that terrible, terrible hangover.
Look, I will be the first to say, towards the end of this movie, I was on my phone. No question. It's kind of a bummer.
I apparently missed the entire first thing about the Ninja Cave. I turned it on immediately, must have left the room.
I guess.
I don't even remember the Ninja Cave at the beginning.
There was a Ninja Cave. No, I think, honestly, the movie kind of becomes more boring when the good ninja arrives.
Yeah.
Frankly. I think the best scene, hands down, is the opening 45-minute massacre of the entire Scottsdale Police Department at the golf course. It is ridiculous.
At the municipal
hilarity.
golf course. I think we need to stress this. This isn't PGA West or Pebble Beach. This is clearly next to the highway, the city golf course.
It is, well, yes. I mean, it is so bonkers. Frankly, anytime the cops are being killed by the ninja, it's hilarity. It is nonstop hilarity, Defund the police. No, ninjas, if you're listening,
Just
do
ninja
not
the
murder.
Police? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. So that stuff was good. When it became less ridiculous and now it's just straight ninja versus ninja, it was less interesting. And frankly,
It's
at
true.
that point, kind of boring.
And I've already forgotten most of it, even though I watched it last night and then the other half this morning with my coffee. But it's right at that point you're talking about is where I finally fell asleep.
In the morning? You're like, I can't even watch it in the morning.
No, they had the coffee to keep me awake. But I mean, last night, that's basically once it started getting more serious, I was like,
it was. It's like, I need the ridiculousness. I purchased this on Blu-ray.
Oh,
so there you go. That's one of my birthday treats. So watch the opening.
Does it have the second, auditory blizzity blazity? Where
they don't have zippity doodah on any of these. These things are so ghetto, where it's just, you're lucky if the movie's on it, essentially.
Does the cover look like it'd been photocopied like 50 times? So
yes.
It's kind of pixelated and
yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
It's bootleg out of the back of a dude's van.
That's how I like it, though. So I'm not judging. So, thank you very much. Go to our page on Twitter at TPodcast, TWDie. Go to our page on Facebook at The Podcast That Wouldn't Die. Aaron, we on Instagram?
We is The Podcast That Wouldn't Die. I upload little samplings of our hilarity and a wacko picture where I then criticize whatever favorite movie you have. Yeah.
I like how you said, we Insta, we is, as if this is some kind of new language we're speaking.
It'll catch on. It's so fetch.
It's so fetch. Stop trying to make fetch happen. You can email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail.
A
little late on these cues. Then you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review if you will. Aaron, are
And
you on
yes, you
social media?
will. Yes, you
Yes.
will.
We'll send a ninja after you.
That's right. Ask yourself, what would a ninja do?
What would ninja do?
What would
What are
ninja
you on
do?
social media, Aaron? For God's sakes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Are you trying to wrap this up after 3 hours?
I'm
A
trying.
3-hour tour. I already saw your ghost wife come into the room going, "What? Are you still recording?"
Sweet
Uh,
Jesus.
let's discuss me for a while. So yes, I have media. I am on the Twitsker. I check it like once every week or so, unlike my brother. I have at least a dozen Instagram accounts. The ones you need to know are um, the Cult of Aaron. Join the cult. Don't feed the pigeon. You can buy my beautiful Polaroid art on Etsy, not Etsy. I don't even know where I am. Artsy and
Or
First
Etsy.
Dibs, Aaron Doherty. I want to announce to all our fans that Kevin has a fans only site, and
I do not have chat roulette. Chat roulette only.
I'll be up and running very soon. Very soon. Send in your
Good.
requests.
I do requests. Next week, we'll be discussing the new classic, Barbarian. I'm going tomorrow before back to school night. So that'll put me in the right mindset to deal with the parents and the students that evening.
You'll be
So
processing a lot while talking to parents of knucklehead children.
Oh, no, they're very sweet. So
Sure.
I think you have to go to the theater to see Barbarian, just like I did, just like Aaron did. So check that out. Send any comments, questions, thoughts, or feelings, and we may talk about it on the show. So thank you very much, and be well.
Bye, kids.